Yo, what's good, everybody? Keith from Almost in Full Color, and today we're doing the Spider-Man 2 review on the PS5, as that's the only place that you can play this. We're leaving behind the PS4, and because of that, the dev team was able to leverage those advantages that the PS5 has over the PS4, and we're able to see some major strides. But before we really get into it, you guys, this game is a banger. It's an absolute classic. I love this game. It is my favorite game of the year. But let's just get right into the review, all right? So first and foremost, the visuals look great. They look stunning. Like I said, PS5 exclusive. So we're able to see how they're able to move forward. We knew with Miles Morales, they were kind of making that trend forward. So it was nice to see them carry those visuals up to the next notch that they could bring it up to on the PS5, all right? Now, I didn't notice any degradation or any drop frames or anything of that nature, so nothing that jarring. It could exist, but it's nothing that's super jarring. However, there are suits in the game that do allow you access to different filters, and one of them gives you that Into the Spider-Verse filter. So the same like with the last Miles Morales game, how that filter was there. You also have some comic book effects that are there. So there are some nice things that you can do just to kind of make it comic booky if you're into that type of visual aesthetic. All right, so that is there for you. But overall, zero complaints about the way that this game looks. It's amazing. And when you have a game that looks amazing, you need to have voice actors who kill. I always say to deliver it home. If the visuals are there, if the facial expressions are there, the emotions are being portrayed, you need the voice actors just to help hit home with it, and they definitely did. All of them killed. Harry, I think, had to grow on me for a little bit, but after like Harry grew on me voice actor wise, I was fine with him. I think he just reminds me of someone that I don't care for too much or something, but overall, the voice acting crew absolutely kills. There's one exchange between two characters in this game who have like an icy relationship. I'm just gonna leave it at that because I think it's actual stellar, like just back and forth, and it's absolutely amazing. I feel like these individuals have ran into this situation in their lifetimes, but I don't want to spoil it as it's quite good. The voice actor for Craven kills. Kills. He probably stole the show for me by way of voice actor. He definitely kills. They built him up really well, and I absolutely loved it. The one thing I will say that's in the sound department that I was hoping for a little bit was a little bit more music. When we started off the game, they definitely used music to kind of drive that beginning part, and boy, did it feel good. It felt epic. It felt amazing when that music started kicking at the beginning. They do begin to let off the throttle on that music point, and I thought that maybe because how music-centric Spider-Verse was and how successful they've been with kind of utilizing music as part of the vehicle to drive a lot of those emotional tones, I thought we may see that here. It's fine that they didn't. They really didn't need to. I think that just would have been icing on the cake. But overall, in the sound department, the game is absolutely amazing. Sound effects great, voice actors great, music great, all around just great sound. Now, I do believe that there's a setting to where you can turn it off. However, if you leave it on, the sound utilized in your PlayStation controller is leveraged really well. There's always this back and forth about using these things, sound in the controller, the haptic controllers. How do you do it and leverage it and you use it well so it's not invasive and it doesn't feel cumbersome, but at the same time it feels good, like it feels worthwhile. There's always just this thing with devs trying to make it work. The same with the touchpad. I think they did a really good job. Now, I know the touchpad is utilized, which people do not like. There are two buttons that are unassigned, which are left and right on the D-pad, and you can actually go into the settings and set them to one of those swipes. So I set mine at the beginning of the game to open up the app and to open up my camera, as you had to swipe to get to those things. So I just utilized those buttons for that. Later on in the game, when I pretty much had used the app and all that, I just reset those to some moves to help out, just quick hit some of my combos, or just so I didn't have to do as many button presses because I was being lazy with that, or it just made things a little bit more easy. It's just easy to push one button and it does, a combo of buttons for you. So that does exist for you, and you should definitely take advantage of that. Just a quick pro tip. Story-wise, they had a big task, and this is where I feel like they made the biggest stride. You had the overarching story, Kraven, the hunter. He is here. He is the big bad. There are other villains also that exist within this sphere. That's your big bad, and that's where everything circles around. But they also made the decision to have two Spider-Men. You had two different stories running side by side because they did not want to just have, Peter, and then you kind of had Miles doing grunt work. No, they wanted to lift up both Spider-Men, make it feel like you were playing as Spider-Man. And the big thing about Spider-Man is, he's the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That's why he's polled as one of the most favorite, most coveted superheroes in all of comics. It's just because he looks out for the little guys. He's there on the street. He's a street level, but not a street level, but a street level, like he can go and do the big stuff, but mostly he kicks it with you and I. We get down with Spider-Man for that reason. So story-wise, they definitely wanted to ensure that both Spider-Men were represented well. Miles was represented very well within his community, being really grounded. Peter, on the other hand, had some other things going. I thought there was a really, really good decision to make. You kind of had two different paths that went, although, they are Spider-Man, birds of a feather. They also had two different lives going on and things going on in their life, different stressors, different worries. And it's just absolutely amazing because, again, like I said, Spider-Man is one of us, essentially. And they show that, hey, Spider-Man stresses, he got bills to pay. Speaking of, to those eagle eyes who figured out that Peter was back like $1 million some odd dollars from his notice that he got in the mail, was absolutely crazy how, just fans look at little stuff like that. But that's actually explainable just real quick. In the first one, Aunt May takes up the Feast Center, and she ends up having to take out a second mortgage and help cover the cost of opening that food center for the homeless. And that was the cost of it that Peter now has inherited due to her passing. So, just a quick tidbit for that. But overall, I absolutely love how they did this story. It was amazing. I love the dichotomy between Peter and Miles, showing Miles a little more grounded in his community. Peter trying to just keep it all together, trying to just tackle life as it's coming at him because it's hitting him. And I absolutely just love how they're showing these just two different sides. It was great. I know some people said they didn't like the story narrative. I am lost about that, to be honest with you. I thought they did an excellent job at this story narrative. Kudos to the team for being able to tell multiple stories at once, but nothing feels like it doesn't jive well with the other. Everything feels so good. And speaking of the other stories that exist within the game, there are several side quests. There's so much side content available that you can do. And one great thing about the side content is if you do a lot of it, you'll be leveled and you can go through the main missions with a lot of those abilities within your skill tree. So it's absolutely amazing that you kind of have all this side content that is very generous with XP. That's definitely going to allow you to get those spider skills and really feel like the ultimate spider by the time you get to the end of the game. You should have enough skill points. I didn't want for any skill points, but I was getting very lost in doing a lot of the crimes, doing a lot of the collectibles, and a lot of the side content that exists within the game. There is one side quest that absolutely floored me. I wish I never did it, but there was one, and I was like, ain't this something? This is crazy. But all in all, it's why I feel like this is my favorite game. I did this side quest, and it was just a side quest that just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, my God, whoever wrote this side quest, I hope you're okay. That was a very sad side quest to write. And whoever has played the game, you'll understand what that side quest is. So for combat is pretty much what we got used to between Spider-Man and the Miles Morales Spider-Man game. Just a little more fine-tuned. I will say that we don't have those suit perks anymore. We do have suit tech now, so you can use those materials that you collect to upgrade your suits, your gadgets, and to buy new suits, but you don't have suit perks, meaning that you can, rock your own style, which I thought was absolutely amazing touch. I'm very glad they did that. Some of the cutscenes look phenomenal depending on which suit that you are wearing. I had one with Miles, and it was kind of glowy. And there's a spot where he was in the dark, but the suit had this glow to it. So it looked fantastic. It looked really dope. So definitely play around with your suits. I literally was just switching and swapping out suits left and right just to see what I liked and what I didn't like. But pretty much all of them are fantastic. There's some Easter egg suits in there. I'm not gonna spoil them, but there are some Easter egg suits, and I think they're absolutely amazing and dope. I'm glad that a lot of these suits were put in here, and I can't wait to see what suits will end up in 3. Now, the one thing I would say that absolutely blew me away about this game is you can change between the two Spider-Man seamlessly. Like, it happens instantly almost. It's quite crazy how you can change between the two. But the fast travel, we've had fast travel in video games for I don't know how long, but it's been a very long time that this concept has been here. This is probably the smoothest, sleekest, most mind-blowing fast travel I've ever seen. You can literally pick a spot on the map and fast travel there within 3 seconds or less. 3 seconds or less, I've literally bounced around the map, fast traveled. The game never crashed on me or nothing crazy like that. After that, I thought, man, doing this over and over and over again, something's gonna happen. No, you can fast travel on top of a objective if that's what you're really looking to do. Unless you're in the middle of a mission, however, if you just see a point that you want to get to that starts a quest or anything like that, you can literally fast travel to the top of it. It's absolutely stunning and amazing, and I cannot like just be more thrilled with this implementation of fast travel. It's one of those things that's like I wish I could re-experience it over again, because I was like, yeah, okay, oh, triangle to fast travel. Oh my god, I'm just web winging through here. I'm just swinging through here. Speaking of the web winging and swinging, this game boasts, I would argue this tooth and nail with anyone, the best traversal system in any game. It feels so smooth, and with the addition of the web wings and the wind tunnels, you can literally boom through the city. The map is much bigger than the last game, but no problem. Like, literally, you could just boom through the area. There are one set of collectibles, the spider bots, and that collectible had a lot of them, but I didn't mind it because you're literally able to use those wind tunnels, those web wings, your natural swinging ability. And I did a lot of that before I even got the perks that allowed my web swinging to get as fast as they possibly can and my web wings as fast as they can. So I can only imagine if I was maxed out in speed, like I would have probably cleared that so much quicker. And I feel like I did it pretty quick. It definitely was not cumbersome on me. So I I am just overly thrilled that this traversal system still feels well. You feel like Spider-Man. That feeling of swinging through the city exists there. They've let off with that haptic trigger a little bit, so I believe in Miles Morales it was a little strong. They definitely have pulled back on how that feels. Fantastic. It just feels absolutely awesome. This game feels absolutely amazing all around. Spectacular, marvelous, whatever word you want to throw in here, it feels that. Games made a very great comment towards me when we were online the other day that Insomniac is doing with Spider-Man in the PS5 what Last of Us Naughty Dog was able to do on the PS4, and that is squeeze every ounce of power out of this thing, but ensure that the game still runs absolutely smooth and is not hitching, or that your PS5s aren't catching on fire. They were able to leverage everything within the machine and to just make it work. Honestly, guys, this game is a stunner. If you are looking to get somebody a gift for Christmas and they don't have this, they should play it. If they love Spider-Man, if they love action adventure games, if they love comic book things related, this game is absolutely amazing. This is a game of the year candidate in my eyes. It has to be. We got a lot of great games this year. This one I feel like stands up and to me is better than a lot of them in some way, shapes, or forms, but that's just me. This is my game of the year. I wanted Final Fantasy 16 to be it just to be biased, but ultimately within an hour of playing this game, all of that thought process of I want to walk into this and find things wrong with it so I can say Final Fantasy 16 is my favorite game of this year because I love that game. All that melted away. This is my favorite game of the year, and that's amazing to me. So it's absolutely amazing that I could just have this game come and just wipe away any thought process I had about any other game being my favorite game. But with that being said, that's going to do it for this one, you all. Again, great game. If you have a PS5, you should own this game. It is fantastic, okay? Fantastic. Not fantastic, it's fantastic. It's an amazing game, compelling characters, great voice actors that drive those emotional notes home, amazing visuals, great gameplay. It feels great control-wise, very responsive and reactive. I can't talk enough about how much I really love this game, and I think that you will too, all right? That's going to do it for this review, you all. Thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate y'all. But keep on the lookout. We'll be dropping some of our favorite games from this year to share with you all. We know that holiday season is coming up. Games that we will recommend from the bottom of our hearts, because you know we're not going to steer you wrong, right? All right. So just make sure you hit that notification button, that subscription button to check out what's coming up next. All right. I believe we got some Super Mario RPG coming up next. So you got to make sure that you stay tuned for that. All right. But as usual, thank you all. Peace. Be easy. Be blessed.